Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That is Tyler. Tyler remote today because of his day job. We'll be remote later in the week because of my day job. It happens. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. I was on a Zoom with a Mac school. I was on with a Mac staff, and I'm sitting here looking at the clock, and I finished at 1:56, and I saw that you had sent the message like, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to test this until you get on here." I was like, "Oh shit!" So
I was 90% sure that it'd be fine, but I wanted to be 100.
Yeah. So been busy, dog.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's
that time of year.
You're aware of things happening in my world. My world has been quite busy as well. So,
huh?
Yeah.
What's going on in your world?
It will all come to pass. It will all become public, and it will be what it will be. It's fine. And for the record, everything's fine. There's a lot of moving pieces.
Can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Good.
I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm excited.
I can't
Hey,
say
you like my shirt today?
I do. I won't be able to say anything much for a while.
Ever.
I mean, eventually.
I mean, you're rolling with Biden doctor status at this point in time.
Well, it could be worse. I could be this prosecution expert in the Karen Reed trial. My guy's having a bad day. He's having a bad. When you think you're having a bad day, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine being this guy on this trial. First of all, he's got all sorts of ill-advised facial hair, and he's got this one little tuft of hair on the top. It's like a unicorny thing. And to make matters worse, much worse, he's now being exposed to as having lied about his college degree. Yeah. So he's probably losing his employment later today.
Yeah.
His appearance is going to be the least of his concerns.
Yeah, that's a rough day. It's a rough day. Rough day for my guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy though. Just has a bad day. Just everybody has bad days every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it happens. Oh, I need to hit the go live button on Instagram. Hold on.
That's okay. It's May.
Oh, truer words have never been spoken. All right, you want to get rolling here in a minute?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready to roll. I mean, I'm in now. I do need it.
Odds are this is our only show this week. Be aware there's a chance we do something Thursday, but I am going to be traveling Thursday, and I've got stuff going on, a lot of stuff, and we're getting into the summer months. Let's put it that way. Got stuff happening in summer months.
You got life going on too.
Yeah, I've got kids graduating. We both have kids graduating. OHS on Friday.
That's not me. I'm not calling.
No, it's me. Hold on. I need to take this one. Hold on, just 1 second. 1 second.
It's life. We have life going on. But yeah, Neal will be in. I'm going
to be in Hoover Wednesday. And then coming back Thursday, but I've got the girls are coming in Thursday for Carson's graduation, and then got graduation, and then if Ole Miss is still in it on Saturday, I'll figure it out. If they're not, obviously I won't have to figure that out. And then I've got a couple of trips planned for June that were planned long before a lot of these things happened, and it is what it is. So
gotcha. CAI, what it is. I saw where you called. I was in a meeting. I haven't gotten off of the computer in the last 3 hours. So fun times.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
I bet people are tired of all the code. I don't blame them.
I'm with you.
I mean,
it'll all be over soon enough. It'll all be over soon enough.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later. How's my audio? You like my audio?
Yeah,
I got a new mic.
Audio's good. Yeah, it's real good. All right, here we go. Welcome into episode 284 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Monday afternoon, May the 19th. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We'll be with you today for a little bit, and then maybe Thursday, probably not, just letting you know. But as we were talking about in the pre-show, getting into the summer months with people have travel and people have stuff going on, things happening. So we'll get shows to you when we can. Might end up being somewhat irregular with scheduling, but we'll make it work. We're brought to you each and every show by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with the Valencia Orange today, to the point to where I had to send Brock to get me one because I was in meetings all day and I haven't had a chance to leave the house. But the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping, and you can get truck month savings on all Chevy and GMC trucks and take over $14,000 off MSRP on new Silverado pickups and get financing as low as 2.9 APR for 72 months. At Cooper Hyundai, you can get as low as 3.99 APR on the Hyundai Elantra, the Tucson, or the Santa Fe, or up to $2,000 in bonus cash now through the end of the month. And make sure you give them a call at area code 256-236-4481. That's 256-236-4481. And tell them your two favorite bald-headed podcast hosts sent you. We're also brought to you by the official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey, County Line Campers. Are you ready for Memorial Day? Because it's just around the corner. The road trip you've all been waiting for begins right at County Line Campers in Gulfport, Mississippi, right off of I-10. Exit 38, open 7 days a week. You can get unbeatable deals, flexible financing, and free orientation with every single purchase. This month, all McCready and Siskey listeners will receive a free weight distribution hitch with the purchase of any new travel trailer. But wait, there's more. Any member of our armed services, both active and retired, or first responders, will receive an additional $500 off of any new or pre-loved RV purchase. Make sure you don't forget to go check them out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and check out all their deals, plus Miss Destiny's walkthrough videos. And more importantly, when you think about camping, think about County Line Campers. What do you think about that?
It's excellent. It's remarkably good reads there.
Yeah,
hello,
I mean,
Chad. Hello in the chat. How you doing?
That's our guy.
That's our guy. I know. That's what I
said.
Hello.
I told him
he's got all my beer.
he's got all your beer.
Yep.
All right. Fresh off of, let's crank this thing up. Fresh off of, I think, I'm not 100% sure with this, but I'm pretty certain this is our next to last travel ball tournament of the year.
Okay.
I come to the show on Monday with a fresh edition of Travel Ball Icks.
Okay.
And brother, were they rolling this weekend? All right, so first, we're going to start this thing off on Friday night. So Friday night, we had a coach and their team that was a little excited to be there. They were in it. They were excited to be there. They didn't really understand the rules, which is okay. The baseball, I get it. But our pitcher comes to the mound. He's a relief pitcher. I don't remember what inning he was in. Drew would have to remind me. He comes in late in the game, and the coach stops the game, 9 years old, by the way, stops the game and tells the umpire that he has to take his sleeves off to pitch.
You referring to the baseball sleeves that the kids wear?
It was a full sleeve in his right arm.
Okay.
That was a blue sleeve, not a white sleeve, a blue sleeve.
Okay.
And so I'm like,
why couldn't he pitch with the sleeve?
That's a great question, because the umpire just let him made him take it off. And I asked the umpire, I was like, when can baseball players not pitch with sleeves on? He goes, and the umpire looks at me and goes, hey, man, I umpire softball. I don't know any of these rules. I'm just out here. And I almost respected his honesty.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost respected his honesty. But sleeve man, very upset about the 9-year-old wearing a sleeve. That was a little icky for me. That was a little icky for me to start with. Okay. That's one. All right. Two, which I just kind of led you up. I just kind of teed you up a little bit. Okay. Why do the umpires in travel league baseball, particularly the younger ages, why do they have to be the least knowledgeable people in the entire park to the game of baseball? Like, literally.
Probably because you can't anybody that would do it. I mean, I don't know that you could put enough money on the table to get me to go out there and do it. I mean, so you know what I mean? I mean, you'd have to pay me a significant amount of money for me to go get yelled at by parents and everybody else and umpire a 9-year-old baseball game. You would have to. My price on that would be pretty high. I mean, is there a price that I would do it? Yes. Is it a remarkably high price? Yes. I would say that accounts to a lot of people. So you're going to end up getting people who just need the money. You're not going to get people who are you going to get kids? I mean, everybody will tell you it's hard to find officials for stuff everywhere.
I get it. But I almost respected the guy's honesty a little bit for telling me he didn't know anything. But like, we had a whole deal in the first game. And at the end of the first game, our tying run was at first base. And they don't call balks, like they warn you and think all the time, you know? And so, but they don't call balks. And so the pitcher from the other team balked, and picked our guy off at first base. So even though it was a balk, they still allowed him to pick our guy off. So I was very upset at our head coach because he allegedly, but he did it the right way, he got tossed, allegedly. But you didn't know. Nobody knew he got tossed but me. I'm the only one that saw it. But he didn't do anything. I was like, you should have like thrown bags and stuff and got your money's worth. This guy got like, our coach was 100% correct. I'm joking, by the way. He was awesome. He was just out there going like, how can you call him out if it's a ball, and all that stuff. And the umpire didn't like him question his decision. And so even better, Drew asked the other umpire, says, hey, am I really out of this game? He's like, no, you're good. So, but it was really like, I felt bad. I felt bad for Drew.
They were completely just unqualified, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
one guy,
bad,
it's if it's a ball, he's not out.
Yeah, just send him back to first base and let's reload it, right? And
I'm surprised. When do you start leading off at 9 years old? No one's.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. Like,
part of what this is, in fairness to the umpires, is that we're asking these little boys to play a level of baseball that they're physically not able to play.
Yeah, because at that age, you have to be turtle slow to get thrown out stealing. I mean, you got to be turtle slow, and nobody's throwing anybody out. So, like, when we were that age, like, you couldn't steal.
You could steal. When I was 9, there was no leadoffs, no steals.
You could steal, but you couldn't lead off. It's like softball rules, right? Like, you had to wait till the ball crossed the plate before you took off.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Maybe you could. I don't remember. All I remember was you couldn't lead off at all. And I don't know if it's been a minute since I was 9.
It has been a minute.
And I guess it's been a minute since Carson. It's been a minute since Carson was 9. I guess they could steal. They would run on pass balls and stuff like that. I don't remember. Didn't 9-year-old coach pitch?
No, it's the first year of kid pitch.
Okay.
So this was even better. I felt so bad for Drew because Drew pitched in junior college. And so, like, he understands, particularly he was a lefty, and he knows the rules. And Drew's trying like it was almost like Drew was like, are you kidding? Like, he was almost like, he was so frustrated because he's like, are you kidding me right now? Like, he was being so calm and so nice. He handled that much better than I would have handled it. I would have 100% been tossed way before that. But yeah, Drew handled it a lot nicer than I would have handled it. But I was a little shocked, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right. And then same game. So same game. this is where I wouldn't even call this an argument. I was trying to help somebody out. I got the same sleeve, sleeve man, same team. The score was 6-3. Okay. There's no scoreboard. There's no scoreboard. All I know is I'm sitting next to my guy who does Game Changer for our team. So what's the score? 6-3. We're the home. We got to score 7 runs to get this thing out of here, right? And so to make it 13-3 to go home. And we do that. The umpire looks at me. Again, umpire looks at me. Says, hey, what's the score of the game? I said, that made it 13-3. He goes, ball game. I proceeded to get attacked by a parent on the other team through the fence that said, no, it's not. It's not 13-3. You're wrong. We only scored 2. I was like, wow. I didn't even know what to. I looked like I was so.
So it was actually 13-2. So it should have been over a run ago.
I was like, I'm trying to give you an extra run in. I mean, I don't even understand. I mean, like, why are you yelling at me? It's 10 runs either way you look at it. The person was mad at me for telling the umpire it was 13-3. And she's like, that's not true.
What
we
night?
Only had 2.
This is Friday night?
Friday night. I was like, what are we doing?
This is also where, and this, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but people spend way too many of their weekends at the ballpark.
Brother.
People need a break.
A lot of time at the ballpark. All right, and then this is right up your alley. I almost called you. I low key almost called you. You probably had other things to do just to let you witness it. I saw something. I think I've seen it all. I have now added something to that list. Not any what on our field, but you're in those quadrants, right? So you got 4 fields going different directions. One team on one of these fields had a bona fide foghorn. Like I'm talking about, like loud, like hockey, like loud, like train horn, foghorn, whatever you want to call it. It's like a hockey goal, that loud. Every time they scored, they cut it loose. And it was like Sunday morning, dog. I'm tired. A couple of Diet Millers on Saturday night. Don't need the foghorn that early on Sunday. No, it was wild. It was even beyond that. It was like loud. And like the hockey horn. A mixture of both. Foghorn. We've now gone from walk-up songs to foghorns. So that one was a little bit too much. So, all right. Kind of transition a little bit here. And we've talked about this a little bit, and it really hit home me yesterday. We were waiting on our second game because, hey, the Oxford Royals won their first bracket play game yesterday. Went to the semis in the gold bracket, nonetheless, the gold bracket. And we're waiting on a game to start, and there were some coaches from a team that are just, and it's not just this one team, it's a bunch of teams. And we talk about like how there's such a low, just in general, sports IQ and a lot of sports, a game IQ, because the kids don't grow up watching the game, and that's how we learned it. We watched games, and they watch things on clips now, so they don't understand situational awareness and some kind of things.
Yeah, for sure.
We used to do that. Like, we literally grew up, I'm sure you did too. I've never even asked you this, but I'm sure, like, I'm convinced that the reason we didn't have any issues in baseball and situational baseball is we went outside and played baseball as kids, and we didn't have 9 players. And so we had to say ghost man on first, ghost man on second. Mm-hmm. And so we knew the situations of baseball because you had to visually, I swear that has a lot to do with it. But
yeah, for sure.
We've talked about that. And I heard you talk about this. It's triggered me because I heard you talk about it on another show. I don't remember when you did it. It's been in the last week. Forgive me. I've been busy. But we were talking about like Tennessee and act on the field and things like that. And it makes it easy for you to pull against teams like that, right? And we have right now, I'm convinced we have a pandemic going on in college baseball. It goes on in high school. I go up here to Oxford High School and watch it happen every night too. It goes on everywhere you go. You see that people have no respect, one, for the game, but they have no respect for their opponent. They have no respect for people in general. And they spend all of their time acting like jackasses. And then when they get their receipt pulled, they play victim. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And where does this start? Go to the ballpark on any Saturday or Sunday. Go to the ballpark and watch how these coaches are reacting. I watched a team that was like a tie game. It was like 10-10 or some shit, and they were in extra innings. And a kid struck out, and one of the coaches, this is 9 years old, goes in the dugout and starts throwing bats and shit. Like, and you wonder why the kids have a problem. Or you see every coach complain about the strike zone to the umpire, and you wonder why the kids are looking back now and looking at every close pitch, like looking at the umpire like, what the hell? And those travel ball kids are now in high school and now in college, and I think it's a whole damn thing, man. I really do. And nobody respects each other. They don't respect the game. I watched, and it's like I watched example. Oxford High School played Madison Central in the playoffs a couple weeks ago, right? And there was some students in the outfield that were just giving the outfielders hell, right? Because, hey, look, I know why. It's because we live here at Ole Miss, and the right field and outfield has this tradition thing. I get it. But after the game, even though they were giving help, the whole team from Madison Central, the whole team runs from their third base dugout all the way to the outfield and starts giving the 6 or 7 students shit. Well, what does that do? That's going to piss off the high school players at Oxford, and then you got this whole deal, right? And it's like just the respect in general just for like shit talking. It's like you'll go to watch, like we played Lewisburg one time this year, and they got the kid that throws 206 miles an hour. And they were like, oh, he ain't got it today. Like, dude, you don't talk shit to guys like that because they will shove it down your fucking throat, which he proceeded to do. Like, it's a weird thing, man.
I've said this before. I don't really understand all the trash talk thing. It's something that I don't fundamentally get. Maybe it's because I was never good enough to play where I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll further motivate the guy that I'm playing against. I always just sort of liked to just play. But here's the thing. This is what, and someone in the stream said this, Big Ben said this, and I think he's right. When we were kids, this is an adult problem. And I don't know why our generation did this. I don't.
We did.
When we were kids, when I was 9, there was no travel baseball. You played in Ruston, we had Dixie Minor, Dixie Youth, Dixie Boys. And this is going to take a minute. It's going to frustrate some people. I'm a level with people. And so you played 2 games a week, and you played through the month of June. Okay? Played 2 games a week. You played May and June. Started practicing in April, maybe late March. Maybe you had a couple of games in April, but for the most part, your schedule was May and June. And at the end of June, All-Stars. And most of the All-Stars were the kids whose dads coached. Stuff like that. Politics.
Yep. You
got a real world life experience. You know what I mean? It sucked a little bit. But, if your dad didn't coach or you didn't come from the right family, you had to be really, really good to make the All-Star team. And so sometimes you made it, and sometimes you didn't. But the other thing that we learned to do was we learned to play ourselves. I grew up in a neighborhood in Ruston that I was fortunate. There was a lot of boys that were my age, roughly. Maybe a couple boys that were a year older than me, and a few boys that were 2 years younger than me. But for the most part, we all were in the same grouping. And then sometimes when my little brother, Tim, got old enough to play with us, and Tim was the most athletic of the 3 of us. When he was old enough to play with us, he's about 4.5 years younger than me, we'd work him in. And the point was you had to sort of realize subconsciously, all right, not everybody here is on the same level, and so we've got to try to kind of balance the teams. And you would do that. And you had rules. We had regulations, right? I always told this story. We would play baseball until we broke somebody's window. Once we broke somebody's window, we knew we couldn't play baseball anymore. And so we would go to wiffle ball. and we would start putting the black electric tape on the wiffle ball. And actually, it would get to a point where that was the perfect sport because it was hard enough that you needed your glove, but it really wasn't hard enough to break a window. And so it was kind of perfect. But
you could sell that.
But you had rules. You had rules. I mean, we had a catcher, and the catcher had to use a catcher's mask because if the ball was hard enough to hurt your face if it hit you. Okay. So you'd wear a glove. But you sort of knew where first base was, and we had second base, and you had third base, and there were rules about if the ball went over the driveway in the air, it was a home run. If it bounced over, we had rules. The point was there were no adults out there to administer the rules.
Figure it out.
There were no adults out there that went, no. That ball went left of the oak tree. No, we had to figure it out ourselves. And sometimes we disagreed. And when we disagreed, we had to work through those disagreements. Because if we got into a big brawl and somebody went home with a broken nose, that would be the end of it.
Yeah, can't play with Little Johnny no more.
You wouldn't get to play the next day. And so you worked it out. But my point was, Tyler, we would do that all day long. We would play. And the other thing was you wanted to be fair and you wanted to be good to people, even the players who weren't as good as the good players, because the more players you had, the more realistic game you had. 6 versus 6 was more fun than 4 versus 4.
Yep.
8 versus 8 was like heaven. Somebody had a couple of guys in for friends for the weekend or for the week that came to visit or whatever. But we'd incorporate them quickly. Why? More numbers. More realistic game. And we'd play all day long. We don't let kids do that this generation. No, can't get out and play. You might get abducted. And you got to go play travel ball. You got to play travel ball at 9 for the elite Bombers 14 whatever team. And you play tournaments all weekend with fancy bats and your fancy sliding glove and all that BS.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
And no one ever, I mean, I think you sort of figured out as a kid. Like I can remember there was a moment in my life when I realized I really love sports. I'm not going to play professionally. Like it's not going to happen. There were moments, right, where you realize at the end of the day, I'm probably never going to be as good at basketball as like Magic Johnson. It's probably not going to happen. No matter how many of these shots I make in my driveway, that's probably not happening. I'm probably not going to be the next George Brett. Probably not going to happen. Figured those things out, but you develop social skills.
Yeah.
And you didn't do all this craziness where now all these kids think they're going to grow up to play for the Phillies. And newsflash, none of you are. None of you are. There's 5 kids in the Dominican right now that are absolutely running away with the job that you think you're going to have. It's not going to happen. But this is a societal thing.
It legitly is out of control. Like it's just, I mean, look, and I had a big break. You know, I went from, I got an 18-year-old graduating. I got a 17-year-old that's going to be a senior. And so I had this break. Now I got a 9-year-old. And now I think there's me and 2 other parents on our team that this is our third rodeo, you know, our last kids going through it. And we're like 10 years older than everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a drastic difference between, like, you can walk around and see who's been through this shit before.
Yep.
And who's brand new to it. I mean, it's nuts.
Because I mean, I tell people this: if your kid's really, really good, it's that talent's going to come out. It's going to happen.
Yeah, just
him playing 85 games in the summer of his 9-year-old summer you're not refining anything. You're just not. And
I think we've been very lucky with Knox, extremely lucky. You know, I think Drew does it the right way. Our guy that coaches our kids, I like the way he does, and he's in for player development. If we win, great. And they want to win, right? It's not like they're trying to lose, but like, it's not I don't even know what right way to put it. He teaches them the right way to play. And for me, that's all I care about. I want them the right way to play the game and the right way to, like, I want them to fail. Like, hell, Knox, Knox went through kid never struck out ever, and all of a sudden he struck out like 87 times in a row and went through some crazy ass slump in the middle of the year. I want to see him fight through that. And like I told Drew, so drop his ass in the lineup. I don't care. I want to see him fail and learn how to get it worked to get it back more than I do worried about if he damn strikes out at a damn 9-year-old baseball tournament. I want him to fail some to where and that's the one thing we talked, I think it was last week or 2 weeks we brought it up. I think the biggest mistake that we've made in our generation as parents is we have not allowed our children to fail.
Well, not only that, but we put everything on social media and we film everything that they do. And it's just, I'm glad I grew up in a time that everything wasn't filmed. Honestly, I'm glad. I'm glad we got a chance to be kids.
Yeah, I think they should.
I look back on it and I'm like, man, we had a great childhood. Like I did. I look back on it, was like, that was cool. I mean, we rode our bikes, and
yeah,
when my mom rang the bell, that meant you had to get your ass home. We really weren't allowed to stay inside the house all day. We were forced to, that all the point of all that is, while I did become a very good wiffle ball player, I did. Me and Robert Hill won a tournament in Ruston where we just went through the field. I got to where I could make things happen with the wiffle ball for a while there. But the point was, we developed people skills.
Yeah,
you develop problem solving skills, and you did. You figured you weren't, but you weren't even thinking about it. You weren't going, well, this is a problem I must solve. No, you were just thinking, we want to play. So how do we got to figure this out? Got to work with people. You know, when we would wear out a front yard, and finally the homeowner might say, y'all are killing my grass. You can't play here anymore. Okay.
I've said that already.
Got two choices. We can quit playing, or we can figure out somewhere else to play. And so,
that's right.
And the next field might not have the best symmetry, but figured it out. Anyway,
that's a very overused saying in my house over the years is figure it out. So, all right, speaking of figuring it out, Scotty Scheffler figured out how to win the PGA Championship after being won his first major outside the Masters in dominating fashion, considering the course and everything else. Look, he is on a run right now that will probably be unmatched. You know, he's a little slow to start the year because he put his hand through a wine glass, but he's been pretty much on fire since. I mean, he's on a Tiger-esque kind of run as far as being competitive every week. But he wins by 6 strokes, no diddy, this week in the PGA Championship. And a shout out to McCready and Siskey guest, one of our favorites, Taylor Moore, with a T19 at the PGA Championship, which is really good for points, and obviously it's going to be really good for his paycheck this week, his bank account this week. But T19 really played well over the weekend. I'm just telling everybody right now, when Taylor is playing really, really well right now, since he came back from injury, he's kind of got it figured out. And when the L putter gets hot, Neal, Taylor's going to win here soon. He is playing. He is giving himself a bunch of chances, and had a little. I mean, he's just like with a putter a little bit. Missed some inside 5 feet. Missed a bunch inside 10 feet. But he's giving himself chances, and pro guys, they'll get the putter figured out. It's just how it runs, hot and stuff. But the rest of his game, the way he's driving the ball, his tee to green game and everything else is like elite right now. And they played at Colonial this weekend. I think a win is right around the corner for our guy Taylor Moore, the way he's playing right now, because he's put together the other stuff in his game that wants to putt, and that's the thing that all pros will figure out sooner or later. It's like they always say with Scotty Scheffler, like if he shows up and putts, he wins. And so when Taylor's going to get this flat stick dialed in, and a win is coming around the corner because he's playing really, really well right now in the other parts of his game. All right, and then obviously, I know you're excited. I know you're so excited. I thought about you all day yesterday. The NBA conference finals are set. We have the Pacers taking on the Knicks. They're actually that is actually 2 days.
Yep.
And your Thunder hold off Game 7, which I knew. I watched that game, and I know. And call me a liar. but I bet your ass you could have made diamonds out of charcoal in the first quarter yesterday.
You're referring to the nerves.
Yeah,
Tightness.
yeah. It was a little to start with.
Yeah, got off
They
to
figured it out quickly.
Thunder got off to a really slow start, missed a bunch of shots, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Carson and I were just basically everybody else left. Laura left. Laura went to Memphis for the day. Got away.
Let's go.
Got away. She's like, "Y'all are insufferable." And there was a little run though that happened right at the end of the first quarter where the Thunder cut it to 5. And I can remember telling Carson, I think we just escaped. I think we're going to be okay. And then it was 42-41. And it was like, let's go, let's do something. And then sure enough, there came the run. And then the last few minutes of the second quarter and all of the third quarter, that was the team that I've watched all season. There they were. It was like, you're there, you're back.
Yeah,
you're back. My God.
They got back quick. They came back pretty quick.
Those were my people. I mean, all of a sudden, Cason Wallace is out there. Alex Caruso. I mean, my bald guy. A bald guy saved the season. And then next, Jalen Williams gets hot, gets 17 in the second quarter. It was nice to exhale, man. It was, it was good. I was worried about it because I knew what was coming. All the media hot takes. You're a fraud. They're frauds. All that stuff was coming.
Yeah, all right. I do have a serious question though. Why do they make? They got like, I don't know. I don't like how they've by God, we got the TV schedule set the way it's going to be. Like the Knicks and the Pacers have been done for a while. They should be playing tomorrow night.
I guess they had to schedule it out as if every series went 7. And so I guess they had to I don't know why the Knicks and Pacers. Well, let's see. Knicks won their series on Friday night. Yeah. The Pacers.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just
like
I don't like it. I don't like it being. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter, right? I've just never. I don't like. I just don't like when you got. I'm not saying uneven rest because you're never going to be able to even it up, but one day rest going into something that big. You've played all these games, right? You've played all these games, and I mean 2 days. All right, just give them 2 days rest and let's go. I mean, just 24 hours. It's just not same thing in baseball. I don't like it. I don't like it in Major League Baseball either. I don't like when you got teams that are going 7 versus a team that wins in 4. And if people are like, well, that's the advantage, for winning the series fast. Well, it's also can be a schedule win too, right? So I don't know. I've never liked that in any kind of series, whether it be NBA or hockey or baseball. Baseball and basketball are the ones that, in particular, I think it's a bigger issue.
Mad respect for the Denver Nuggets, though. Man, I've cussed those guys for the last 2 weeks, and I've wished all sorts of bad things upon them. But mad respect for Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown. I thought David Edelman did a fantastic job coaching that series. The Nuggets were really good. I mean, they made the Thunder earn it. They I kept thinking back to something Alex Caruso, who won a title with the Lakers previously in his career, said that he was hoping that they would play Denver. And he said, they're going to make us grow up. And they did. And it kind of felt, I mean, we'll see what happens. Minnesota's very talented. Anthony Edwards is terrific. So it'll be a fun series. But it kind of felt yesterday, first part of the third quarter, when the Thunder just came out of the gate and finished them. It kind of felt like that was a rite of passage. That was a moment.
I agree. I think it's like when you just, I've been lucky enough to be football-wise, be a part of some stuff like that in the builds, and when you're starting from nothing. And I've been, probably the one I got to see to completion was Arkansas State. And when we got there, I mean, they hadn't won a game in like 3 years. I mean, they were freaking terrible. And it was a long-ass build, but you finally get to the point to where the build is the fun part, but there's always a moment, right? It's like where, like I'll remember this, like with going back to the Arkansas State days, is Arkansas State. Like when we got there, I got there in 2002 with Steve Roberts, and they had not won, and we immediately got them from basically being just the doormat of college football to being a 500 team. Right? We were always hovering around that 500 mark, and then Hugh comes on as the OC, then becomes the head coach, and we've been recruiting very well. We just could never get over the hump, right? And we sat there and we were really good. Like when Hugh was the offensive coordinator, we set every freaking school record in the history of mankind on offense, but we still were, losing a bunch of one-score games and all that stuff. And Freeze's first year as a head coach, we had all the same players, and we go down and we played your Louisiana Monroe Warhawks, and we were down at Monroe. And all jokes aside, in the Sun Belt Conference, playing at Monroe is a tough place to play, not because it's rowdy or anything like that. It's like one of those it's like the SEC going to play to Vandy. Okay, it's like bring your own juice game. There's not many people going to be there. They're good enough to beat your ass, so you should win the game kind of deal, right? And we go down there, and we found a way. We went back-to-back weeks to where Arkansas State had always been like a snake bit program. You know what I mean? Like the breaks always went against you, all that stuff. The week before, we get an overturned call that shouldn't have been overturned. But we get an overturned call. We use that to win the game on the road. Then we go to Monroe, and we're losing the game late, and we're going to have to drive down, do some kind of miracle drive, and we block a punt and scoop and score. And after that game, brother, it was on. I mean, we started blowing out because they're like, oh, we can win. And it's like the whole Roger Banneker 4-minute mile thing. I was telling somebody the other day about it. It's like one of my the human brain is a really fascinating thing, right? It's like once you push through and you show that you can do it and you've made your mind up that it's possible, what comes afterwards will blow people's mind. In the 50s, it was 1950. Scientists told human beings that they would die if they ran a sub 4-minute mile. And so nobody ever ran it. Everybody was around it, but they never broke it. And then so Roger Banneker breaks the 4-minute mile mark in like 454, whatever it was. Well, like 9 other people break it in 2 weeks because they see that something's possible. So I'm a big believer in the psychology part of the game. And especially like at Arkansas State, once we won those 2 games, we blew the shit out of everybody. We beat everybody. That's no diddy and a pause.
Yeah, no, I'll be curious to see.
Everybody.
Now that the Thunder have kind of gotten over this wall and it felt like a wall. I'll be curious. I suspect they're going to play better basketball. We'll see, because they have not 11 games into the playoffs. They've not played. They had a couple of games where they just had dominant performances. One against Memphis, one against Denver, but that felt like something yesterday.
Yeah, it did. I agree. I would. I thought the exact same thing watching. I was like, this is a young team growing up, and the next thing will be getting to the top, which they're well on their way, and then the step after that, which is the hardest step, is staying on top.
There's nobody left. I'm not saying that this guarantees victory. It doesn't. But Denver had championship DNA, and you're involved in sports. You know what I'm talking about. When you play a team that has won a title.
Yeah,
they have something about them.
Yeah, it's like even when you play Georgia in the playoffs in football, like even if they're a wounded, they're still Georgia. They still know how to get. It's
there's
better
still
bring your
people
freaking
on that team that know how to win a title. Well, Boston's out, Denver's out now. I mean, nothing against the Knicks or the Pacers or the Wolves or the Thunder, but none of those teams have any championship DNA, and one of them's going to win a championship. Yep. So that part of it is out the window now. And with Denver, there were moments late game 1, late game 3, late game 5, second half of game 6, early in game 7. There were moments where Denver was very clearly the more mature team. And I don't mean like the way you behaved, but I mean in belief and what's the word I'm looking for? Just sort of determination. They believed they were going to get it done. Yeah, and the Thunder played really hard, and ultimately they won because they are a historically elite defensive team. And I loved Mark Daignault's answer to what what'd you do? And he said, we just were ourselves. And to a lot of people, that's cliche. I heard him say that. I went, no, I know exactly what he means. It was, hey, a reminder, we won all of these games a certain way for a certain reason. It wasn't a fluke. We did it because we were ourselves. We have to be ourselves in this big moment. But now there's no Denver. And again, Minnesota's capable of beating the Thunder, period. Let me be clear. But there's no mental hurdle. Nobody on the Wolves is a quote champion, right? I mean, they don't have anybody that's won the title. So there's not. Anthony Edwards hasn't won a championship. Jalen Brunson hasn't won a championship. Tyrese Halliburton hasn't won a championship. So I think that obstacle's gone now, and I'm kind of interested to see whether the Thunder, at some point in this series, maybe it takes a game, but they just kind of dial back into, okay, well, we figured out how to win at this level, and now we're going to go do it.
Yep. I think so. I wouldn't pick against them, I can tell you that. But, Neal, spring is in the air, and so is the perfect time to upgrade your ride. At Kia of Meridian, we've got the coolest whips and the coolest people to help you drive off in style. Whether you're looking for a fuel-efficient K4, a spacious Telluride, or something sporty like the K5 or Seltos, we've got it all at prices that will make you say, let's roll. Don't let the tariffs scare you away from Kia Meridian. Our fan favorites are built right here in the US of A. With the interest rates as low as 1.9% on select models, with fresh deals, friendly faces, and fun rides, come see us at Kia Meridian, where spring savings are in full bloom. And don't forget, this is the most important part, Neal, that when you go to Kia Meridian and you mention, you know what, I heard about you on McCready and Siskey, they're going to pull it out, Neal, and they're going to let you spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5 and Xbox, a TV, and more. So check them out at Kia Meridian and give them a call at area code 601-483-6444. Also, we're also brought to you by the official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey, County Line Campers, right there off exit 38 I-10 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Do you have a trade? Are you looking to trade in your RV? As long as we ain't got to feed it, we're absolutely need it. They pay more for quality trade-ins than any big box store down the street. If you're looking to sell your RV, they buy RVs and also have a free consignment program and guarantee to sell your RV within 90 days. How about that? Don't forget about the accessories and service, because they have a huge 6-bay service department that can complete almost any job needed on nearly any RV. If you need warranty repairs, they are the authorized Keystone Forest River and Gulfstream repair facility. They will fix your rig even if you didn't buy it from them. So make sure you check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Go to their website at countylinecampers.com. That's countylinecampers.com. And more importantly, when you think about camping, think about County Line Campers. Let's go. How about that?
Absolutely incredible. We're also brought to you by our friends at Parrish Brewing Company. Carson is smoking some wings a little later this afternoon for a got. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll help you out with that. And so I went to Larson's, and I was getting the wings, and I just remembered something I was supposed to get that I didn't. But I went to check out the beer selection. That's a good beer selection.
Sure do.
They've got multiple Parrish Brewing products. And I bought a little 4-pack of Supernova.
Ooh.
Juicy double IPA. Can't wait. Gonna pour one of those tonight. No pressure tonight. Thunder can't lose game 1 tonight.
Nope.
They can lose it tomorrow night, but they can't lose it tonight. Can't win it tonight, but they can't lose it. That's worth a celebration. That's all you need. Parrish Brewing Company. They got Supernova. They got Ghost in the Machine, Dr. Juice, Envy, Revy. If you want a coffee stout, if it's a little warm for that right now, but hey, doesn't mean you can't have one. You can't pour yourself a coffee stout. Sure you can. Sure you can. Do that, Revy. Wherever you look for beer, look for Parrish Brewing Company. You'll be glad you did. And guys, listen, I know a lot of you want to get out of corporate America. Corporate America can be a drag. Maybe you're looking for your next business venture. If you're interested in learning about a business or a franchise, Andy Ludicky can help. Andy's a diehard college football fan. He's a franchise veteran. He'll work with you to help you find a franchise or business that fits your DNA, your skill sets, your goals. It's going to figure you out. You know why? He's a great guy. He'll sit down with you. He'll have a Parish Brewing Company product. Share one with you. Or you can each get one. Probably be smarter because that way you'll enjoy it more and not have to worry about who's getting how many ounces of the same beer. You don't want that. Get a couple beers from Parish. I've done it with Andy. He'll get to know you. You'll learn about his process and services, which, by the way, are 100% free. It's a no-brainer for those of you looking to get the hell out of corporate America and into business ownership. And by the way, if Andy is doing an NIL deal, if he's doing a deal with you, he'll do an NIL deal with your favorite college baseball team. Got the tournament starting this week in Hoover. Got 16 teams going to Hoover. Even Missouri's there, saving their pitching staff, getting it ready for the big week ahead. You're a Missouri fan? He'll donate between $500 and $1,000 to your favorite college team's NIL for baseball. So call Andy. He's a great guy, a ton of business experience to lean on. Andy at myperfectfranchise.net or 404-973-9901.
Let's go. All right. I also, you know what I have right now, Neal? I have some life advice. Will you tell me about my good friend Cole Walters?
I will. Life advice.
Life advice.
Life advice presented by Cole Walters State Farm Insurance. Cole is licensed in auto, health, home, life, business, and pet insurance for the entire state of Georgia. And listen, he's going to be licensed soon in Alabama. But for right now, the whole state of Georgia, whether you're Sikkim or Yellow Jackets, he's got you covered. 706-525-7850. Also, find him online at colewaltersinsurance.com.
Neal, my life advice today, real short and sweet.
Okay.
My life advice is to the WNBA, Neal.
Oh, wow.
I have life advice to the WNBA.
Okay. They had a spat this week in the WNBA. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. And my life advice is this. For all of the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese fake drama that we're being pushed by all the TV executives, like watch what talking heads are trying to make a big deal out of this. The games are also on their networks. So all this fake drama that we're pushing and creating, here's my life advice. I am not going to watch 1 second more. Not 1 second more of the WNBA that I'm currently watching because of all of your fake WWE and network-driven fucking fake drama that we're putting on for all you talking heads that your people at your network are going, hey, look, we need to make this about something else that it's not, okay? We're going to make this about something real controversial, and we're going to make people are going to tune in and watch. Not watching 1 second more. Not 1 second more. Now, follow this up, Neal. Neal, say, Tyler, how much WNBA are you currently watching?
Tyler, how much WNBA are you?
Not a fucking second. Not going to watch 1 second more. So stop all the bullshit. You're not going to, like, I actually have a brain. I understand that you talking heads have been told by your superiors, look, guys, I know this shit's boring as hell, okay, but we're going to create some drama today over some fake bullshit off of an intentional foul. Hey, right there to you. Appreciate you.
Remind me not to wear my Indiana Fever shirt around you. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. I can't. Can't. They can kiss my ass. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Sorry. That's my life advice for today.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Simple. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's pretty hardcore.
Right.
I don't know that I have that I have that strong of an opinion on the WNBA.
Yeah, I'm better now. I feel better. I feel like I feel better. I feel calm. I feel like I just went through confessional. I feel better. All right. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy gets 5 years, $265 million. I think 180 something guaranteed. So 53 AAV for the 49ers. And I don't know the best. I don't think he would have had as much success if it wasn't for the 49ers. Like, I think that system definitely helped him there. That's also why San Francisco's been dealing every player that they're having to pay. This kind of, in my opinion, I don't think it closes the window for San Francisco, because I think what they do offensively and defensively will always give them a chance. But they definitely are going to have to hit the reset button on other players around them with not as much money to spend. A little surprised, I don't know, kind of a little bit. I think some of this was back pay. Fun fact, you'll hear a fun fact, Neal?
Yeah.
Did you know if Brock Purdy last year was an SEC quarterback, he'd have been the lowest paid SEC quarterback? And he played quarterback. He played quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and he made less money than any quarterback in the SEC. That's your fun fact for the day.
Are you being
Yeah, I'm being 100% serious.
Wow.
Yeah, being 100% serious. He'd have been the lowest paid quarterback in the SEC last year. How fun is that?
So how much did he make last year? Because people are asking.
Like 900,000 maybe.
So you're saying every SEC starting quarterback made at least $900,000 last year?
Yes, I feel confident saying that. I definitely feel confident this coming year, except for one. I do know one that's not this coming year. I know of one not making that. But yeah, I mean, okay, call him. All right, if somebody wants to get real semantic on me and they find two, I guarantee you he'd have been in the bottom three. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure.
And so, yeah, somebody said, and some backups. I know of a team that has three quarterbacks making more than he made last year. Let that one sink in for me. I know a team in the SEC that they have three quarterbacks making more than what he made last year. That's not what I didn't bring that up to talk about. That. I'm just saying
it's wild to me. I just think about it and think how stupid this is. Good for the kids. Good for the kids.
I did not bring that up to talk about that, by the way.
No, I know. Just saying. I always feel like I have to say this. I'm happy for the kids.
Yep. Good for them.
you. Good for you guys. Good for you. Two things can be true at once. I can be happy for the kids and think this is idiotic. Two things true at once.
Hey, how about this? Now after Brock Purdy's contract, what if I told you, what do you think? And I'm assuming you haven't looked this up, okay? Where do you think, if you had a choice today and you could pick any quarterback to run your team, would you pick Patrick Mahomes or would he be in the discussion?
Moving forward today?
Yeah, you're able to pick a quarterback for your team.
For one season or for
any quarterback for multiple seasons. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Would I pick Mahomes?
Would you pick Patrick Mahomes or would he be in your thought process?
Yeah, he'd be in my thought process. I'm not sure that I'd pick him.
We agree that he is one of, if not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What if I told you that Patrick Mahomes is now the 14th highest paid quarterback in the NFL?
Well, that's just kind of how that's a result of collective bargaining agreements and salary structure and new deals. And when you sign your deal, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because he signed his deal years ago, and at the time he was highly compensated.
He was the highest paid when he signed it.
Yeah, I mean,
45 AAV.
There's a reason that at the end of those games, all the quarterbacks go hug each other. If you're Joe Burrow, as much as you want to beat Patrick Mahomes, when it's over, you want to give him a big hug and go, "Thank you, because I'm making a whole lot of money because of you."
Yeah. No, but they get paid. It would be kind of neat though to see them be free agents. See how much everybody loved the NFL. If he could be a free agent every year, that'd be fun. See how much they were getting paid then. That'd be fun. What do you all kidding aside, if they were unrestricted free agents every year, okay? If the NFL was unrestricted free agents every year,
Yeah.
How much money do you think Patrick Mahomes would make?
No
Or Joe Burrow?
no salary caps. Oh,
Nope.
I mean,
No salary cap. No nothing.
somebody would pay him $75 to $100 million.
Freaking insane.
This is why when people do the whole,
not talking about it.
No, I'm not either. But it's like, well, free market. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm all for a free market, but you do want, in this particular case, you probably need to have regulations, or else, because it won't even be NBA. No matter who wins this year, whether it's the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, or the Pacers, one of those four teams is going to win a title.
That is true. I feel confident in that
statement. It will be the 7th champion in 7 years. There's something there that's attractive. If you're a fan of a mid team, you're going, hey, there's hope. Proof that there's hope. NBA has rules that are built to reward drafting well and to promote parity. If you made professional sports the way that college sports are, a lot of teams would literally have no chance. Ever.
No, I think it's...
And if you think about the NFL, what makes the NFL so popular?
Parity.
Your team has a chance to get there. You got to draft well. That's why everybody loves the draft. Because the draft is hope. Anyway, food for thought.
100%. No, I agree. All right. Going to end with this, because I know you're going to have all kinds of thoughts on this. I am too. Joe Biden came out public this over the weekend that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it's metastasized to his bones. And look, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you like somebody, how much you dislike somebody. Nobody that can't, first of all, of anybody that was making takes or this, that, like, you can't, I don't care how much you dislike somebody. We talked about that earlier. I think that's insane to wish that upon somebody, but that's not the issue here. Okay. This has controlled my thoughts the last 2 days. The amount of cover up.
Yeah.
And the plan to move forward.
Yeah.
Knowing that they knew is one of the most, it won't get covered. It will not get covered the way it needs to get covered. But that is one of the most diabolical, insane things I've ever heard of in my life. Like, you don't, and I mean, there's clips today with like doctors going on some of these, not pro-left. I'm talking about like the super left channels, like the ones that are like left beyond left, like they're out like they're not in the left field bleachers. They're in like the parking lot behind left field left. The doctor's saying that, oh yeah, I mean, because you got to have common sense. You didn't develop this in the last 100 days. It was known. And to tell me that the president of the United States,
come on,
doesn't get beyond physical, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know where the breakdown occurred or where the cover up occurred. I will never know that. We probably never will, but that's one of the most diabolical things ever. And just so people know, when you're a state employee and you make over a certain amount of money as a government employee, you have mandatory yearly physicals. I've been a part of that group, been lucky to be a part of that group. And they go from the rooter to the tutor. I mean, you get, Tyler, they know everything about you.
They knew he had cancer.
Of course they did.
There's no way around that. They knew he had cancer. They lied. They propped him up. And the goal was to get him reelected. And then they would push Harris into the presidency. That was the goal.
I mean,
it was very clearly the goal. I mean, there's no way around this. And there were media that was complicit. worse, and usually I love to let the media be the worst, but went beyond media that was complicit. This was high-ranking government officials.
Yeah, way up there.
Knowingly lied to the American taxpayer about the health of the most powerful person in our government and arguably on earth. National security, national security. Forget the politics.
Yeah.
It's everything.
That's my point. It's a bigger issue. Like, I feel terrible that he's having to go through this, right, as a human being.
Sure, of course. No, I mean, that's the whole.
That's not I'm not even mad that he didn't say it, right? It's levels. I know it sounds crazy.
He once did
this is a much higher problem than the president's office. You know what I mean? Like, this is deep shit.
In 2022, he said he had cancer, and it was said that, it was a slip of tongue. And it was actually a moment where he's known this for a while. This was all. Look, I've said this. It's like when the horse won the other day in the Preakness. Journalism won.
Yeah.
They were like, the announcer was like, "It's a great day for journalism." And I was like, that's the first one in a while.
He'd been holding that one since the Kentucky Derby.
I mean, it was good. He did a great play on words. It was a great race. It was fascinating. I mean, they had a collision in the middle, and he comes back and he wins. It was incredible. And the announcer did a great job calling it, including the pun and all. It was great. But the joke told itself. It's like, well, that's a first in a while. You know, I mean, but there's a lot goes again. I want to make the media the bad guy here, and I can't make them the only bad guy. This goes way higher than the New York Times and
yeah, that's the thing is the amount of people. This wasn't a one-off deal, right? This wasn't one or two people. The amount of people that had to be involved in this.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing is, like, when people go, "Hey Tyler, why are you into conspiracy theories? Why do you think this? Why do you think that?" Exhibit A. Right Exhibit now. A. Exhibit A.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it goes back to last week when people go, "Do you think they could fix the NBA draft?" I'm like, well, I mean, if you can lie about the health of the president of the United States for years and get away with it, then yeah, sure, you could fix the NBA draft. And so before you know it, this is the thing from a culture standpoint, from a public standpoint, is no one trusts anything now.
Well, that's the thing. I see somebody I just glanced over TikTok, and that's the thing is, like, nobody I don't feel like I'm being told anything credible at any time now. Like, I don't watch the news anymore because I just
same.
I don't, and like, it wasn't always like that. And maybe it was, Neal. Maybe it's always been like this, and we were too naive to realize it. I don't know. That's another thing that bothers me is how long. Let's be honest here, okay? What do you think the percentage of American people trust the media? Where do you think that number is right now?
30%.
Like percentage.
30.
So, all right. When was the part though? Like, when was the breaking point? Are we so naive that this has been going on our whole life and we didn't know about it? Have we just got older and wiser?
No. When was the big breaking point? COVID.
Well, we know that. Yeah, but was it even before that? Did we just not?
Yeah, but people sort of. Yeah, but there were people that didn't trust the government. But let's face it, for the most part, everybody pretty much did. There's a reason that when COVID happened, everybody generally followed the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I can speak for me. Me personally, that's when mine was, right. But like, I mean, dude, this is deep shit. Now, this isn't.
I mean, when
I think it's deeper than I think this is worse. And this is my opinion.
But it won't get covered. This story will go away. This story will go away. It doesn't check the right boxes.
100%.
It will go.
That's
away.
what I'm saying. Is like, I think this is a bigger problem than that.
Yeah. And so the answer is this is why I get mad at my field, but it's too late. It's done. It's over. Everyone is very biased. They lean one way. They're in bed. Pharmaceuticals, the whole deal. I mean, it's done. Has it always been that way? Yeah, probably. But they were able to sort of hide it. COVID exposed it. it's so baked in now that they'll keep doing. There's no stopping it. So where we're going to go as a society is eventually to a place that no one trusts anything because it's not trustworthy, and that will lead to a chaos in and of itself. I mean, you go back to look at. I mean, we got to go, but look at March 2020. Even me, and I mean, I'm generally amenable to thinking about conspiracies. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I've told this story. I went and drove to Fayetteville, and I packed up my daughter's stuff, and all the people in that dorm were upset, and my friend Robert was packing up his daughter's stuff, and we went to dinner, and we're like, well, we can't shake hands. Think about that. I mean, he's a smart guy, a lot smarter than me, and I'm probably above average. On the old IQ meter, I'm probably in the middle somewhere. He's smarter than me. We both like, probably can't shake hands. I remember listening to, God, I'm sorry about the notifications. I don't know how to turn them off.
All good. Finish the thought. You're all good. Finish the thought.
I listened to a podcast on Rogan. We had this doctor from Minnesota telling us that, all these people were going to die, and it was going to be millions of people were going to die in America. It was going to be really, really bad. I can remember I lost a friend on this who told me, hey, not only are we going to have one season lost, they're not going to play for 2 years. There won't be football for 2 years. No sports for 2 years. I'm something, well, there goes my livelihood. I mean, and yet, even in the midst of all that, oh, yeah, we stopped schools. Yeah, get on the Zoom, kids. Even though there's no sign of it anywhere. And then later, yeah, put a mask on all day long at school. All day long, put a mask on. And this was in this part of the country that kind of said, this is stupid, let's open back up. Still made kids wear a mask all day. Contact tracing.
Oh.
We did all that stuff to people. Think about that. And then not to even get into the vaccines. And then you find out it was all a lie. A knowing lie. And none of the people that pulled it, they all got pardoned by a president who didn't exist on his way out the door. Joe Biden didn't know who he was pardoning. People just go, that's the question now that no one can answer. Okay, in those last 4 years, who was the president? When he wasn't sane, when he wasn't healthy, when he was unable to do these things, who did those things? Because it wasn't an elected official. Was it Kamala Harris? Now, I'm totally serious for a minute. No jokes. Who did it? Who did it? Who ran the country?
I go back to something.
We have a constitutional pecking order. Who did those things? Go ahead.
I go back to every time, like I've told you this privately. I know someone who was involved in a high level of government. And I remember asking them, early on in their career, I was like, so you run for Congress, Senate, what do you, run for president one day? And he looked at me and laughed. He goes, no, I don't want to be the president of the United States. And I was like, why? He goes, because the president of the United States doesn't have enough power.
Yeah.
Every time something like this happens, that I remember that conversation.
But your average American doesn't care about this story. He or she doesn't care. They care more about TikTok and Instagram Reels and silly shit, and they don't care. And these stories happen, and they continue to happen. And nothing comes of it. We are not even a year removed from someone getting within 200 yards of Trump in Pennsylvania and just missing.
When was the last time you heard anything about that?
That story just went away. Poof. We don't hear anything about Thomas Crooks to this day. I haven't seen anything with his parents, with his family, with anything. It just went away. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. You don't think media is bought and paid for? but here's the deal. A media member who tried to get to the bottom of this story would end up in the bottom of the Potomac. There's no getting there. There was a story that a person kind of fed me some details on recently about things happening in the trucking industry. And I didn't have the power to go pursue that story or the time really. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, if you got to the bottom of this story, they'd hurt you. I'm totally serious.
No, I'm laughing. I had TikTok up or whatever right there. Live access removed for misinformation for a week.
There you go. There you go. I mean, I don't even care. I mean, screw it. But it's great. But that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. There's an inability in our society to recircle, look back, and go, okay, what can we learn from this? Because the answer is nothing. But here's the damage that was done. The next time, if there's actually something real, no one will believe it. You'll have chaos on the streets. Yeah. Well, I apologize for your TikTok, man. You can tell them that.
It's all good. They'll be okay.
All right, we'll wrap it there.
Neal, before we go, spring is in the air, and so is the perfect time to upgrade your ride. At Kia Meridian, we've got the coolest whips and the coolest people to help you drive off in style. Whether you're looking for the fuel-efficient K4, a spacious Telluride, or something sporty like the K5 or Seltos, we've got it all at prices that will make you say, let's roll. Don't let the tariffs scare you away from Kia Meridian. Our fan favorites are built right here in the US of A, with interest rates as low as 1.9% on select models. Fresh deals, friendly faces, and fun rides. Come see us at Kia Meridian, where spring savings are in full bloom. And don't forget to mention McCready Siskey so you can spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more. So check them out on Instagram. All right, so give them a call at 601-483-6444.
All right, we're also been brought to you each and every show by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. So until probably Monday. So no TikTok for a week. Maybe we'll let us back at 2 o'clock.
How about that?
How about this?
Yeah, we got the 7-day ban on that one.
That upset them.
Yeah, usually it's a 24-hour deal, and every once in a while it's a 3-day. That was a 7-day ban.
Oh, we were hitting way too close to home.
Yeah, that was a 7-day ban right there. So, yeah, hey, I would like to say thank you to Instagram, thank you to YouTube, thank you to Twitter, X, for allowing us to have a conversation. Thank you, appreciate you guys. That's all I got.
For Tyler, I'm Neal. Until next time, take care.